So my name is Lisa Milligan, and I am the founder and CEO of Optimise Foundation, and we're based over in Farnham. And what we do is we are a bunch of local health professionals, parents, PE teachers, coaches, and former athletes. And we've banded together to look at the latest research that's coming out around female health in sport. And this research, just to give context, you might hear about on the news about, the WSL or footballers talking about their menstrual cycle and about how it can affect their ready to play sport, or how at different points throughout the menstrual cycle, for example, it may affect their risk of injury. So what we thought would be very, very good and needed in our community would be to actually give this information to teenage girls so that when they're playing sport, they could play in a way that's safe, that would play in a way that might help them improve their performance, but also just in a way that actually, most importantly, will give them the information that they need to keep them in sport and to with all the long-term health and welfare benefits that that would bring. So what we do is we draw on elite sports performance science and we distill it into short sort of educational workshops of around 45 minutes in length, and then we deliver it in our local community. And then secondly, we are just building our new website now. It should be due next month, and then we will share all our educational resources online for free so that local clubs and communities and schools throughout the UK can also draw on this latest evidence-based education to talk to their young girls about the importance of being active, how the menstrual cycle can affect you being active, and with the long-term aim of staying active, staying in sport, and long-term health and welfare. So in a nutshell, that's what we do. And we're really excited about it because of the 200 girls and women that we've reached since we started in June, there hasn't been one single person who has said, oh, I already knew this. This isn't new. So we're definitely bringing new information about female health and sport to girls and women to help them improve their health and their activity levels. But secondly, we're normalizing conversations about women's bodies in sport. And that is really our vision, is that we would be able and we would empower coaches and parents and teachers to be able to talk about girls' bodies in sport in a way that was informed and open and supportive. So it's as much about communicating the science as it is about normalizing the conversations, as it is about getting girls and keeping them active and in sport. And do you have any questions?
Thank you, Lisa.
That would be the end of my presentation.
But you haven't talked about what roles you have.
Oh yes, very importantly. So sorry, as a new charity, we need to build up our supporter engagement. We need to build up a community around us. Now, we have been denied funding by Sport England and also by the National Lottery. Sport England would like to fund us if we deliver physical activity rather than education about physical activity. And the National Lottery felt that we would be better off going to Sport England. So with these two major funders not behind us, it's now upon us to build a community around us who will support our work and who will support us in delivering this education to girls and women in Surrey and in Hampshire, but primarily in our local communities here in Surrey. So what we're looking for is two different roles who can help us with this. The first is about our social media, and we're looking for someone who has experience in social media and who can help us to deliver two aims. First is to actually communicate our education via social media, because we know that that's a channel where teenage girls and teenage boys draw a lot of the information that they use in life. So we want to be able to communicate our information in that channel. And secondly, we would like to build a community of following around us by communicating with them on social media about who we are, what we do, where our next educational workshops, etc., are going to be delivered. You know, we were in the Farnham Herald last week. Did you know? So it's just communicating about us as a charity and what our aims and our visions are. So that's the social media role. And ideally, we're looking for somebody who can just run with it. They can work with it at their own time, when it suits them. And we have loads of information we'd like to share and loads of content, but as a volunteer-led charity, because everybody at Optimise is a volunteer. There's nobody paid. So as a volunteer-led charity, we have limited resources. So we're looking for someone who can support us with social media. And then the second role we're looking for is someone who can support us with fundraising and with drafting applications to trust and foundations. So the role is sort of twofold. First of all, it's investigating what trusts and foundations might support our work, who might have an interest in supporting girls and women to stay in sport. And then secondly, if they enjoy, ideally, the person writing, and would be able to write a sort of compelling offer based on the information that I'd provide them as to why it's important to support girls and women to stay active for their long-term health and well-being. So we have an awful lot of copy, we have an awful lot of content and information we'd like to share. And essentially, we're looking for 2 volunteers who can help us to share that in different ways for different outcomes at a time that works for them. That's it.